Well, welcome back. Donald Trump and his new vice president, Mike Lindell, have established themselves in the White House, today being the 13th of August, Friday the 13th, as predicted by Mike Lindell. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I think this really highlights the point of my op-ed today over at HartmannReport.com, that Trump's shared psychosis is destroying the fabric of our society. I am very concerned about this. Westwood, Kansas. Hey, Scott, what's on your mind today?
Hey, Tom. Today was the day that Donald Trump was supposed to be reinstated, according to the Pillow Man.
Yeah, and from the best I can see, looking at all the news pages, it didn't happen.
Yeah, but I am curious, what would happen if an election was legitimately stolen? Obviously, this one wasn't. Would there be any way to, acknowledge that our current president is illegitimate and acknowledge that the legitimate president, or is that just not possible with our system?
I made the argument in 2000 that the Supreme Court stole the White House for George W. Bush. George W. Bush lost the popular vote by 500,000 votes. And it turned out, when the newspaper consortium actually counted the vote in Florida, that George Bush lost Florida too. So Al Gore really was the legitimate president. And, a lot of us were making that point, but hey, the Supreme Court had spoken, and, we respect the rule of law, and the media was not going to go down that road, as particularly after 9/11. It was a month after 9/11. It was in November of 2001 that the newspaper consortium reported that, by any of 7 different standards, if all the votes were counted, Al Gore would have won Florida. But nobody wanted to touch it. Nobody wanted to hurt George Bush in the middle of a national crisis. And I get that. I think it was I forget his name, Schlumberger or whatever his name. The former publisher of the New York Times. He actually apologized for that. But I think going forward, it's going to be a very different dynamic. I also, it's funny that somebody updated my Wikipedia page after Trump's election to say in 2004, where's the effect of? I don't have it in front of me. In 2004, Hartmann argued that the election was stolen by electronic machines and things. My concern, just for the record, was twofold. Number one, that Ken Blackwell, who is the Secretary of State of Ohio, had done a massive voter purge just before the election, and it hit the cities with large black populations hardest, and so that I thought was problematic. And then number two, the state of Ohio, if the news reports are accurate, and I may be wrong on this, and the reports may be wrong, to the best of my knowledge, it's never been thoroughly investigated, but they had backed up their election systems to a server in Kentucky. If that's the case, well, but my point is, nobody wanted to nibble on that one either. And but I think going forward, there's going to be a whole lot more attention paid to people. Maybe it'll become really toxic to say the election was stolen from me.
Yeah,
which might make it easier to steal an election.
Yeah. I know you said a lot that Eisenhower was the last legitimate elected president.
Oh, I've been making that case for years. But that's...
Yeah, I've seen your show a lot, and I've seen you make...
Yeah, but that's based on, stuff that's fairly easily documented. That I don't get into the John Kerry election. You can document the 2000 with George W. Bush.
And Jeb.
Yeah, and Jeb and everything else. You can get into, Reagan cutting a deal with the Iranians. That's a matter of public record. Right, the October surprise. You've got Nixon committing treason with South Vietnam, asking them not to go to the Paris peace talks and blow up, Humphrey and LBJ's.
Wasn't that another October surprise?
Yeah, it was. It was. In fact, this is Lyndon Johnson talking about this with the guy who was then the Senate Majority Leader, Everett Dirksen, the head Republican in the Senate.
Here's the latest information we got. The agent says that they just talked to the boss in New Mexico, and that he says that you must hold out, just hold on until after the election. We know what Chew is saying to them out there. Yeah, we're pretty well informed on both ends. Now, I'm reading their hand, Everett. I don't want to get this in the campaign. That's right. And they oughtn't to be doing this. This is treason. I know.
Oh, I know. But they, Nixon pulled it off. It worked for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Scott, going forward, we'll see. Thanks a lot for the call. I appreciate it. Bill and